Philly just knows how to win. You know what I mean? And it's stupid because I think if you look ahead and you see what's predictive, what is more likely to happen, and you look at what the Rams do offensively week in and week out, and you look at what the Eagles do week in and week out, you can make a very strong argument as to why the Rams going forward should be the best team in football. But I just think when it comes down to it and you go on the football field, Philly just knows how to win games. They've done it for 4 years at this point now, where they have years where they look like shit and they still win double-digit games. They don't look great. They go to the Super Bowl. They win the Super Bowl. Like, they just know how to win. As simple as stupid it is, they just find ways to win. And I think what's most concerning right now for me is just this Philly run game. It's just not what it was. And this isn't new, right? We've known this really all this season. But it felt like that Giants game before the bye, maybe something clicked with Saquon. Then you had the Green Bay game. That's a tough defense. Detroit, that's a tough defense. Maybe you got to give them a little bit of slack. But it just feels like, I don't know, it's like this Russian game, is it ever going to get going? Like, I don't know if we're going to see the Saquon from last year, but can we see 70% of it?
I'm going to say what Jalen Hurts said. Ask Kevin Matula.
That's the only thing that scares me right now. I think it was great. They got AJ involved. It was early, like first drive. They're like, we're going to get you the ball. You got 9 targets.
And then it died.
Them shit was trash. The routes was trash. It's the same shit over and over again.
I mean, this defense is elite. I think they're well coached on the defensive side of the ball. It's just really offensively. You know, I think the offense, passing offense and rushing offense has left a lot to be desired. You hear some weird rumors out of Philly now, too, about
the Carson Wentz
2.0 thing with Jalen Hurts, which I don't really believe as of right now.
What is that rooted in?
It's this Philly reporter who's well respected, who said that, you know, there's whispers in the building that this could be a Wentz 2.0 situation because all the money they owed him and they don't think he's, you know, uplifting, whatever the case might be. But yeah, I mean, I have Philly right now. They've done nothing this season that makes me think otherwise, other than just like the offense hasn't been pretty. And if it continues to play like this, I don't know if they can win a Super Bowl. But if in a world where they turn it around, man, it's scary.
Can I ask you a question? I don't know who said this, but it was a decent question. It might have been. Actually, I know who it was. It was PFT. Shout out to PFT from Barstool.
Okay.
He says, "Why do we talk about the Broncos as if they aren't the AFC Philadelphia Eagles? Because the Eagles have won the Super Bowl," which is a fair argument. If that's what you want to say, I will shut up. I will shut up.
I also think you guys don't have the talent on offense that we do. I think it's a talent gap.
We win the exact same way that you guys do.
Yeah, Philly
I just think that's the difference. It's a talent gap.
And it's the exact same reason why the Eagles were questioned until they did it.
Yeah.
That's why.
Also a good point.
But they did it.
They did it. But it took the Eagles were one of the most talented teams in the history of the NFL. Last year's Eagles.
Yes.
And
ever.
This Broncos defense is.
But your offense, that's the gap.
To the point
talent,
that
your offense isn't there.
Jalen Hurts in the wild card against the Green Bay Packers and against the Rams in the divisional round, he had 2 of the lowest success rate games for a quarterback in history.
And we scored the most
every
points
quarterback,
in a run.
Every quarterback that has had as bad of a success rate as him, they have lost those games in the playoffs before. The roster was so great that you can get the Saquon big time run, and that can put them up just enough to take control of it. The Broncos don't have a Saquon. They don't have an AJ Brown. They don't have a Devontae Smith. At the tight end position, they don't have Dallas Goedert. Like, I think the Eagles are just so farly superior, talented offensively than Denver. That's it. But the NFC is also tougher. So I think the pathway for the Broncos to get to that point is easier in the AFC. You know, in the AFC right now, it's a lot of underwhelming rosters that we're looking at. The NFC is way tougher. But you're going to have to run into one of those NFC teams. But I think it's a fair point. They win in a similar way, but I still question how sustainable it is, even with Philadelphia.
Okay. All right.
No, I think it's fair. I question how sustainable it is because every week it's like, can they keep getting away with this shit? Like it's been multiple. I mean, 2 weeks in a row. The 2 weeks before the bye were good, but then before that it was ugly. It's like how many weeks can you just go through just like brute force, just ugly offensive football? I mean, they're finding a way to do it.
I mean,
they're defying what's possible.
Like we brought in Phillips.
Such a big pickup.
Dean got back.
Well, your defense,
we got so like.
But your offense is still the same questions I think we had after week 1.
I would love for us to stop putting those double tight ends out. They can't block. Love for that to happen. Love to really open up the route tree.
I'd like to see more under center stuff.
Yeah, but for the most part, like the defense has gotten much better than what it was earlier in the year. So now you really can't score. Like Jordan Love and Jared Goff had a combined 1 touchdown in 2 games. Like, they were both abysmal that we played against. Like, we shut down both offenses. Like, outside of Jahmyr Gibbs and a couple plays from Jameson, of course, he's a big play guy. So a couple plays from him, we bottled up that Detroit offense. And I think...
I'll be honest. You played well. I just think Goff, I think there was guys open. I just think Goff had a dog shit game.
Horrendous.
That was because of our defensive line.
There was a couple.
There's a couple of just
There
misses.
was a moment from Jared Goff. Fourth down at the goal line when he targeted Amon-Ra St. Brown. You see the tight end is open in front of him. Pressure was in his face to the point that I didn't think it was that egregious. The Lions got very aggressive. And they that's what they do, but they paid for it. The 4th and 2 punt fake that they went for and it got stuck.
That shit killed me.
That
was
they had a fourth down
that was the first half, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was
They
terrible.
had a fourth down that Adoree Jackson versus Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jared Goff is going to that matchup and Amon-Ra doesn't win. And Adoree Jackson wins the rep. So I thought that they got very aggressive. I will say, between Detroit and Green Bay, I thought Detroit was able to move the ball easier because they have a playmaker like Jahmyr Gibbs.
He was so good.
Jahmyr Gibbs
he was frying.
took a couple screen passes for big
so
chunk
fast,
gains. And he was even a threat to score on some of them.
Yep.
Where the Green Bay doesn't have that type of explosive playmaker.
don't have
And then
shit.
Jameson on the crossing route was just able to run by him. And then it was a house call at that point.
That drive was 2 plays.
But I'll be honest, Jameson being part of this offense, more involved like he was last year, it's making me get excited. But then you have games like yesterday where even when Jameson's getting involved, they just go as far as Jared Goff takes them.
Jared Goff got to go outdoors in Philly.
It's going to be tough.
And Green Bay and Seattle.
But that's the thing.
Not every quarterback's meant to do that.
If you sit here and you think about it, and it's fair to say, well, this team can't keep doing this shit all year. But if we get the number 1 seed, every quarterback in the NFC, Darnold, Goff, Love, has to play in Philly. How many of them do you trust to play in Philly?
Stafford.
He's the only one. He's the only one.
Exactly.
Literally the only quarterback in the
And
NFC.
he has yet to beat us in Philly. So
That's more than fair.
Well, this is where...
when is it going to stop? I don't know. The Chiefs went, 12-0 in one-score games last year? We could do it.
All the metrics point to the Rams being the best team in the NFC. I think that...
The metrics do say they are.
The metrics,
and the game versus y'all was amazing. You guys clutched, though.
What matters?
Winning.
They are a better offense. The Eagles' defense is better.
I'll never disagree with
Even
that.
Despite the metrics favoring the Rams' defense right now, I think the Eagles' defense post Nakobe Dean, they're second in EPA per play.
I would take the Eagles'
And then
defense.
Jalen Phillips coming into this team. There's no GM that has done a better job at constructing a defense and replacing players than Howie Roseman. Mauro Jomo's breaking out. Jalix Hunt led the team in pressures last night. It is just a defensive line factory there in Philadelphia. So the defense, I favor them, but there is something to be said about, the Rams almost getting you guys twice, and maybe the third time will be the time that they get you guys.
Because you said that about the Packers.
The first matchup, it came down to the wire.
Packers
until they
and then at the beginning of the season, they were up at halftime, and then they blew a lead. But I think that the Rams now are better equipped.
But doesn't it say something about the Rams being up, then choking it, and then being able to come back in the playoffs and then not completing it? Is that not like a mental thing here?
I think that it goes to show the Eagles' resilience, but I don't think it's predictive of what the Rams are going to be. Because the Rams can make it to the Super Bowl when I would not be shocked.
No, for sure. I'm not saying... I think the only team that can fuck with us is the Rams, respectfully. Or that could actually beat us. But
there's another team that only lost to y'all by 3 points.
What?
There's another team that only lost to you guys by 3 points.
Brother, we beat y'all 3 straight. Stop talking about the Green Bay Packers.
And you've beaten the Rams 2 straight times.
And I agree. And you're sitting here still telling me that... this shit the Rams can still beat us, and I think they can, but at what point are we gonna see when any of these teams could beat us?
At this
the
point,
only team that beat us legitimately is the Giants. They came back in the 4th. The Giants are the only team in the league that whipped our ass.
What
from
the
start.
fuck?
No, you came back in the 4th.
What do you mean we didn't beat y'all legitimately?
The Giants beat us from quarters 1 to 4.
No,
is what I'm
there's a
saying.
team that whipped you out. We beat y'all legitimately.
Sure. There's only one team that dominated us from start to finish.
Okay.
And that was the Giants. The Giants. No other team. We love Seattle. Seattle's cool. We haven't played them yet. We love the Rams. They did it for a half. You got to do it from start to finish. Green Bay has never done it.
The Rams now...
Detroit just showed they can't do it, especially not in Philly.
They are the team right now that you guys are both tied up. The Eagles have the tiebreaker, so if you guys finish with the same record, you guys will get home field advantage.
Love it.
I do think that there's something to be said about the resume the Eagles have built up to this point, because it's not even just talking about previous years. Just talking about this year, they have beaten the Buccaneers. They've beaten the Rams. They've beaten the Detroit Lions. They've beaten the Green Bay Packers. Those, even the Chiefs, right? Yeah. They've beaten 6 of the top 13 offenses in the league this year, if we count in the Chiefs. All of the top NFC teams minus Seattle, they have beaten in the conference. Green Bay, Detroit, the Rams, the Buccaneers. If we cultivated a list of who are our top teams in the NFC, all of those teams in some way, shape, or form would make our list, and they've beaten all of those teams. So I think it's fair to assume that even with the Eagles being underwhelming, they will still continue to win just because their defense can backpack them in a way that very few defenses can. And also, the offense is always one big play away from something happening.
The shit is hilarious.
Like what happened against Green Bay. Devontae Smith breaks open. Like, even with how sluggish they can look.
He wasn't open. That was a crazy play. I was grown man to little man straight. That's all that was.
That was a great play by Smitty.
I just think, I want to know what the conversation is going to be. You know how the conversation is
going to go with him when it comes to the Eagles. You have to know.
No, I want to know what the conversation is going to be when the playoffs start, and if, hypothetically, we beat the Bills, because we have them left on the schedule, we beat the Bears, and we beat the Chargers. So if we walk into the playoffs, we have all these W's. I'm very interested to see, well, they can't keep this shit up.
If your guys' offense looks like dog shit against the Bills,
it might.
There's no excuse for that.
Brother, it might.
The Bills?
It might.
Well, what you mentioned is there's only 2 tough games left on the schedule for the Eagles.
Yes, because the Chargers, we're going to fuck the Chargers offensive line.
And I'm counting the Chargers in there, but really the Chargers, based on how the offensive line is manufactured right now, it's pretty much
sorry, Chargers fans.
Herbert might.
Sorry.
Yeah, and the Bears, Dallas is a trap game if it ever was one. Dallas next week in Dallas.
It's always a tough game.
It's a trap game.
And Dallas plays amazing.
And then we got Chicago after that, then the Chargers, then Buffalo, then 2 Washington games. And I think
this is the thing. And this is like a cop-out way to say this, but it's like the Eagles are either going to cultivate this resume in the playoffs. They're going to steamroll everybody. They're going to make it. And I really don't think if they make it, they're going to lose.
I don't know if they're going to steamroll anybody.
No, just beat everybody.
Okay, but beat everybody in the way and then make it. And then everybody will say, well, you see, all of the things that we were worried about in regular season don't matter. Or they're going to get to the playoffs and these things are going to catch up to them. Yeah. And you're going to say all these things did matter. It's going to go either one of those 2 ways.
Joel, that's the first thing you said about Philly I agreed with. Yes, that's exactly what's going to happen. Either we choke in the second round or we go to the Super Bowl. No in between. That's it. And if we're going to lose, it's going to be to one of these teams we probably beat.